Hi, my friends. Welcome to Sort of Brilliant, a show where the characters are made up and the sorting absolutely does matter. My name is Rachel.
And I'm her best friend and co-host, Lauren. Every other week, we're going to invade a fandom and determine whether your favorite character belongs in Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, or Slytherin.
We're the Harry Potter podcast that talks way more about any other franchise.
Here, we use the sorting structure from Harry Potter as a common language without supporting the author or her beliefs. As for the sorting itself, there's bound to be some arguments along the way.
But in the end, we're always right.
According to us.
According to us.
Welcome back to Regency era. We have returned. We're back in another time.
You didn't want to do your Julie Andrews voiceover?
It's not good, and I have Invisalign.
No. You don't think you can do a British accent with Invisalign?
The problem is, my favorite British accent is like the Adele, right? So like wherever she's from, that's my favorite, and it always goes back to that. So I can't. So if I try to do the classy,
pretty good.
I'm Julie Andrews. It may devolve rather quickly, dear reader. I'm not sure. I'm not entirely confident in my abilities.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you wasn't that good,
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm like you. Thank you.
Like tea and scones.
Crumpets?
What's a crumpet? You've been to England.
I don't know.
Oh,
I didn't.
no.
I never had a crumpet. I'm guessing it's something close to a scone. They say it wrong. Scone, not
You have
scone.
beans on toast over there?
They would eat it, and it's fucking disgusting.
Sorry, guys.
It's a crumpet is a small griddle bread made from an unsweetened batter of water or milk, flour, and yeast. Anyway,
okay.
No, it was fucking disgusting because they don't even they make the toast and then they pour a whole can of beans on it. So then the toast gets soggy and rips apart. It's gross. I hate beans anyway.
It's just wet bread with beans.
I wouldn't be the target audience. Yeah. Although one of my flatmates did make me a cheese toasty, which I was like, "You're making me grilled cheese," and she was like, "No, I'm making you a cheese toasty." She's right. It's not grilled cheese. It's you make grilled cheese on the stove. She in England they have these, and these are normal to have, almost like a toaster oven. So she just put the bread in there and then put the cheese on top, and then the cheese literally melts, but then the bread, it's different than grilled cheese, but it's also in that family, but it's called a cheese toasty. It's fucking delicious. They also saw me making tea and got very upset with me.
How do you
make me, you get the water in the microwave and make it hot, and then you dunk a tea bag in it.
Yep.
Yeah, they fucking disgusted by the microwave thing. You have to use a kettle, and then they put milk in it. And I always was like, I don't really want milky flavored water. But whatever they did to it was great. It tasted really good. So yeah.
Okay, cool. I saw recently, I'll watch clips of the Kelsey brother podcasts, and they went to England and they said they didn't care for the food, but the tea was fucking banging. So
yeah,
whatever they have over there, but their tea is definitely different from our tea.
It's so good. British breakfast is pretty good too, and they do good pub food. But you're definitely not going over there looking for food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't live there without air conditioning, so I'm not moving there.
I mean, a lot more of the houses have air conditioning now because global warming, so they get hotter every year.
You're welcome. Now you have AC. Well, the people we're talking about now did not have AC or toilets, so
chamber.
They did have tea.
They never show you the chamber pot situation. They did have tea. Yeah.
That allows us to sit there and be like, I could live here. I could do this. I could be part of the ton. Shit in a fucking
I said it once. I'll say it a million more times. I would not mind dedicated 3 months between the ages of 16 and 20 where you go to a bunch of parties and all of the men there are expected to be interested in you, and a few of them are going to propose to you by the end of the season. They have to, because that's what they're obligated to do. Sounds so much easier than whatever shit's going on right now.
I have a tangent because my response was going to be, what if you're ugly? And then I was reminded of this fucking tweet that's been going around of this girl that's recently befriended an unattractive girl. It's crazy how differently they're treated than us. I was like, whoa, bitch. Whoa.
Wow.
I don't know if you saw that, but she's getting eaten up.
It didn't really matter if you were ugly, because if you had money, especially, it didn't matter. But even if you didn't have money, they needed babies. So
that's true for men now.
Yeah.
Not for the women, but well, So we've already done the majority of the Bridgertons. We are waiting for Benedict's season to dive more into the Bridgerton
So
family.
excited.
But in the meantime, they did that whole Queen
Benedict's
Charlotte
my
season.
favorite. I can't
He
wait
is her
to sort
favorite.
him and Sophie.
She's beautiful. Love that casting, by the way. But so we've been following along pretty well with the Bridgerton kids. But they did this whole Queen Charlotte season, and I actually put off watching that for a while because I was like, I want to see the Bridgerton family. And then when I was gonna have my second daughter in like late March, early April, I needed something to get me through the last few like weeks of pregnancy because I wanted to die. And I was like, let's just watch this. Let's just see. It has to be good. And because everyone said it was, and I was just being like a bitch about it. Right. And she can do no wrong. So, man, I loved it so much that when I went into labor, I was watching it in the hospital, like from the hospital bed on George's laptop. I was watching the finale. It was so very good. So we are actually going to do Queen Charlotte and King George. And, whoa, I'm blanking on her name.
Peace. Lady Danbury.
Lady Danbury.
We're not doing Violet right now. I think we could see more of Violet. I don't know.
What we have of Violet is like we probably could make a decent.
Yeah, I mean, you have her at very young, and then
I will say it probably wouldn't be fair right now because I haven't focused on her as much as I would want to.
And also, I'm pretty sure she has a romance coming up. So
yeah, and that's very telling for your for your house behavior. So we can wait on Violet, but these three were so well cast. Like I was so impressed with these young actors for them because I'm already so impressed by the regular actors on Bridgerton, specifically for Charlotte and Lady Danbury. Like they're in my like top 3, if not top 5. Like they're the best. Which may also be why I put this off a little bit because I was like, oh, you're going to do them justice. They're very hard shoes to fill, and they filled them really well. So this is a very well done show. I really enjoyed it. And I had them sorted. I'm sure I've told Lauren, I had them sorted obviously from Bridgerton. And this really just solidified where I put them. So that was nice. It was nice to feel right and validated. So I felt like very well done. I enjoyed their story. Heartbreaking. It's the only time I think I've cried in Bridgerton was their ending scene with them under the bed.
Really?
Yeah.
Aww.
Nothing else has ever gotten me. That was especially because those moments of like, what's the word? Like, not empathy. What the hell word am I looking for?
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Earnest behavior are rare from Charlotte. So to see that under the bed with her husband, oof, knife to the heart. Like it got me.
Vulnerable, maybe is what.
Sure, yeah. That works.
Yeah.
I can't remember another time in Bridgerton where I was moved to actual tears. Anthony's gotten me close just because of his frustration. Like sometimes I'm like, I feel it. I'm like,
so mad.
Yeah, he's got me close. But just out of like heartbreak and pain, no, not until Charlotte and George. So beautiful, sad story. And Lady Danbury's story is fucking sad too. Like it's got a lot of there's a lot of sadness here. But it their houses are well equipped to deal with the cards that they were dealt. So I say it's Queen Charlotte's world and we're just living in it. So we should probably start with her.
Okay.
So Charlotte is taken into royalty by her brother Nick from Nancy Drew, who is all I could
his
see.
His name was Adolfo.
I know. His name's Nick.
I know. He did a great British accent, but I really was like, this is Nick.
It's Nick. It's Nick.
Yeah.
But he takes her there, and we'll be able to help me fill in the blanks because again, I haven't seen this in a couple of months. I don't remember the exact reasoning that he takes her there. I know it's like familial duty. She has to do it.
They basically struck a deal with England. Her family is from I can't remember if it's Austria or Germany but one of those Bavarian type countries. And they struck an agreement, essentially a trade agreement. So in exchange for Charlotte marrying George, they would get the support of the British economy, maybe the army. It was one of those, trade a woman for for power things.
Yeah, I unfortunately didn't remember the geographical or historical details, though it's historical fiction. Whatever, I know Lauren probably has that stored somewhere in her brain. So when I get those things wrong, hopefully she can smack me and be like, no, it's Austria. So yeah, he brings her there and she's to be wed to King George. And she's like, I don't want to do this, but she's not this like dutiful daughter, right? Like we've seen that character. We've seen Daphne be the dutiful daughter, just do what she has to do. We've seen kind of the spiteful side of it too, like the rebellious of it with Kate, where she doesn't want to. She still does her duty, but like she's annoyed by it. She doesn't want the responsibility of it. And we've seen a character like Penelope who takes on certain levels of responsibility, but kind of hides in the background and increases her own power, right? So we've seen women in certain positions similar, not on this massive scale of being the Queen of England. Daphne may come closest.
She's not even bothered by that though.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's really, I mean, she's been raised in that. She is royalty in her own country. So she's not even really bothered by being the queen. I'm remembering what she was talking. I'm gonna call him Nick now the entire time.
Sorry.
What she was talking to him about in the carriage when they were on the way there, where her problem was basically that she didn't know anything about this man.
Yeah.
And she still wasn't totally understanding why there wasn't another way to make things happen.
Yeah.
So she like threatened to get out of the carriage, like jump out of the carriage and all that sort of stuff. But she also, it was such an interesting dichotomy.
Dichotomy?
How do you, yeah, dichotomy.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for pronouncing words for me. You know, when you probably relate to this, you've only ever read a word. So then you come to the point where you're like, I must say it out loud. And you're like, do I know how?
It helps to be a certified yapper who never shuts the fuck up and people correct you.
I know what the word means and I can spell it for you and I'm picturing it in my brain, but can I pronounce it correctly?
That's how you know you were a voracious reader.
How I sound like a fucking idiot, even though I know all these words.
If you know, you know. If you were, then you know that you were a big reader as a kid. That's it.
Yeah. I was.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, but she does have this interesting, like, she gets there and she's like resigned to do it. And she's like, I am going to do it though. Like nobody can tell me what this man looks like or what he's like or what his hobbies are or why I'm really have to do this, but I will do it because I guess this is what I am for. And like she has this moment where she's like, it doesn't matter if he's ugly. I will be gracious. Like I can deal with like I can make it work.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some overlap with Daphne there. Like, well, Daphne wouldn't get with that old ogreess fuck, which I don't like. I really don't blame her for. I do feel that she would have been dutiful in a sense of like, if Anthony had made a match for her with someone that she didn't find attractive, if it worked like really well for the family, I think Daphne would have just done what she had to do. And she would have been mouthy about it like Charlotte, but I do think that she would have done it and been like, handled it.
Oh yeah, she would have pushed Anthony the whole way. Like, explain to me why I'm doing this. Like, I'm doing it, but tell me why. You need to give me good reasons. Like,
so it's dutiful, but it's like not without a fight. Beautiful. So it's very opposite of Anthony's house, where again he'll do it, but there will be lingering resentment of you for it.
Said the house yet?
Did you
mean not to say the house?
I'm like getting there.
I didn't know if you were edging
I'm knocking off. So I'm knocking off Gryffindor. It's just, Charlotte's not a Gryffindor, right? Well, so
you
obviously,
already said,
guys,
like Daphne, like 20 times.
Okay, sorry. All right. Charlotte's clearly a Slytherin, like very clearly a Slytherin woman. And it's really obvious in the actual show, like in the show Bridgerton, for everything that she's got going on. Her whole war with Lady Whistledown is
God. And she gets
Slytherin.
so mad when Lady Whistledown doesn't clap back. She's like, how dare you?
She's like, I'm in this for the fight of it.
I'm interested. Yeah, I'm interested in this.
You actually piqued my interest. And that's why I think in season 3, when Blondie, whose name I'm forgetting, is Cressida is pretending to be Lady Whistledown. She's like, I'm like offended because you cannot titillate my senses the same way. Like, this is annoying. She has such a respect for Lady Whistledown and the game. She's just a lover of the game. And I mean, that's that also, you see a lot of that imagery throughout everything, the game playing.
She plays the ton very well. Like, she plays the ton game, especially because she doesn't have to be directly involved in it. Like, she's there trying to matchmake every season and like promoting one girl as her diamond to watch all the men like fight over her. Like, she's bored, man. And who can blame her? Her husband isn't around for her anymore.
She had to get used to that at a young age too, because this is what happened with her and George. So she meets him, she tries to scale the wall and try to escape. And like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I'm not doing this. This is ridiculous.
So is the point that you cried at when he was like, you didn't go over the wall?
Yeah.
guess that.
Does it get you too?
I didn't cry, but it does get me where I'm like, it's thinking
It got George
about
too.
thinking
We were
about
both in the
people I
hospital
know,
crying.
thinking about people I know who have had Alzheimer's. Like it got me in that way. Yeah.
It's just like I also I didn't cry so much for him as I did for Charlotte. That she has been through so much with him, and she's been by his side. And it seems sometimes, and I think this is the show puts it this way on purpose, that to make it look like she's the selfish character. It seems sometimes like she just doesn't want to be bothered with him, or she'll like be like, "Go get the doctor, go get whatever."
I think that's true though,
But
because you
it's
see
not
in the first
true
season.
because it's not true because those types of scenes are immediately followed with like an expression of such heartbreak. Like she can't do anything but get the doctor. He's fucked. Like she has to get the medical care. Or it's followed with like she gets so angry if someone sees it because she wants to protect him.
Well, what is it? Is it Anthony's season when he shows up and Kate is really nice to him, or Edwina?
It's
Who is
Anthony's
it
season.
that,
Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
That
And she
saves
like
everyone.
immediately softens. Yeah.
Yeah. So respect of her husband will get you a long way. And like genuine respect though, because she's able
And
to suss out your
her
bullshit.
husband likes them. Like he clearly was taken by.
Edwina's very good with people, so they were lucky that she put her foot forward there. So Charlotte, she really loves him, and but what I'm saying is I think that sometimes the show does these things where they try to make it look like she's so exasperated and so like just so, like someone help him figure it out. But there's moments where you see him come through where she's so like she's so genuinely like, yeah, that's our daughter. Yes, that's what we did. Yes, that's what we're doing today. And she's so happy. And if he came out of it, she would be so thrilled, and she would be so by his side and be such a like good wife, caring wife. It would be like none of those years ever happened. Like she'd be able to snap right back into it with him. And I guess that's like that's the pain, I guess, of being a caregiver or someone who's in a position of partner to someone with that disease. Like you're always in that state of flux where you're like, are they coming through? Like, is this my person? Are you there? Like, and you have a minute with them, and then it's back to the problem, and it's hard. So I think the show actually did a really good job of showing like that fatigue in her, and then humanizing her and being like, no, she's not just being a bitch about it. Like it's a lot to deal with, and she's doing her best, and he has the best doctors, and he has the best care, and she really does love him purely.
Especially in a time when being mad, I guess, in that sense of the word, was like cause for throwing that person away from society.
Yeah.
Like obviously that wasn't going to happen with George because he's a king. But you see it in Queen Charlotte when they're so reluctant to like tell her what's going on with George, and they try to hide it from her as long as possible. And then they expect like the initial reaction she gives where she's like, I can't believe you married me to like a madman. They fully expected. Like that's what they were waiting for to happen. Like she's an anomaly to look past that to George. Because the stuff that the doctor was doing to George was like fairly commonplace for like what they did in Bedlam, or like if women got too emotional and suffered hysteria, they were considered mad, like that sort of thing.
Yeah. It's rough. There's a lot of heavy stuff in her season. And it does carry over to Bridgerton. So you get a lot of her, and you see a lot of what she deals with. And yeah, that is her initial reaction to it. Like, I can't believe you put me in this position, because they didn't explain anything to her. It's really not fair. She's thrown in here.
She didn't explain anything. And also her big issue was that she became so isolated, and nobody would let her do anything or talk to anybody.
Some dogs, like that.
And so she was like so on top of that. My husband's crazy, essentially, and you want me to be isolated from him and from everybody else, and to deal with that fact. Like,
and you're not explaining to me what this so-called madness is. You're not giving me any information on it so that I can help him through it. You want to put these doctors and other people on it, but you want me to be his wife. So it's not adding up in your head.
She's ready to run. She's pregnant with their first child, and George isn't there in the house. And she's like, I'm leaving. Everybody's like, you can't, because the baby inside of you is like the property of England. She's like, I really don't give a fuck. Like, I'm getting out of here. I will not do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah, and she means it. But so what pulls Charlotte back beyond the like intense sexual attraction because they have a lot of like sexual chemistry and they can't stop banging everywhere in front of people on the dinner table, anywhere and everywhere. This is why she has what, like 16 kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, the angry
like
sex fuels her. It's that she sees something in him, like, so when he goes away, and she doesn't always know he's being tortured, obviously. But when she's isolated, she takes it very personally. So, like, even though she doesn't show it, it's very much like, oh, so you don't want to be around me? Fine. You have to be around me, right? Like, it's very that. And it's because she has, like, actual real feelings for him. So all she really needs from this man is for him to say that he has real, true, actual feelings for her too, because it's a lot of hot and cold. And it's the kind of hot and cold that'll drive anyone fucking batshit. So, but it's very Slytherin of her to be like, I literally need this one thing from you. And if you just say this correctly, like if you give me the correct answer, then we can move forward. Like then I will straight up never leave your side. Like, I don't care about anything else. He's like, but I'm crazy. She's like, I don't fucking care. I'm asking you a question. Answer that question.
His thing is like, I'm going to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
He's worried about hurting her.
Yeah. And she's like, I don't care.
Not so much like that. He's
That's
crazy.
not, yeah. She's like, I don't care about any of the consequences that come with it. Like, I don't care if you're, you think you're a danger to me, to anyone else. Like, all of these things are things that I'm willing to work on and work around and find solutions for with you if you care to do them with me. Because if he said, I don't love you, I feel very easily that she could have then shut down all her feelings and been like, good, that's all I needed to know. We will live separately. I'll continue to be the queen and we'll figure it out. But she just needed the reciprocation of the romantic feelings. Otherwise, like, what would be the point for her? And she knew he did. She knew he did. And he just refused to say it. And she just needed the words. And I get, when we talk about his house, I guess this is a symptom of his house. Like, you're being asked a direct question repeatedly and he's dancing around it because he doesn't want her to be strong enough to deal with it. He doesn't want her to have to do it. And he obviously doesn't feel worthy of, her love and care, which is sad because he's heavily abused into believing terrible things about himself. So, but, it's the great thing about having a Slytherin partner, like as a romantic interest. If you really do love them and they already have decided they chose you, they're not going anywhere ever. And she makes it really, really clear. It's one of the best love speeches. It's one of those, because every season of Bridgerton has like a love confession scene.
I'll burn for you.
I think theirs might be my favorite one, actually.
Aw,
I think it beats I Burn for You. Anthony's is pretty good. He's not far enough.
It's not far enough.
Oh, man.
You moved to India.
I spent every second. I can't even do it. I can't. It's pretty good. They're like neck and neck for me. It's just over and over. She's like, do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? And she's not even saying anything else. She's just like, I'll wait. I will wait until you're done with your rant to just give me this answer. It's just hella Slytherin. And so then everything else around her outside of the George story too. So we talked about the Whistledown stuff. It's also how quickly, even though the show doesn't show it, she will behead you. Like, she was going to put Eloise to death if she had to. Like, she straight up, I believed that. I really thought.
But she would have killed Eloise?
For sure. For sure, I believe that. Like, if you really screw with her, I really think she will. They're not showing it, though. But I don't think she has any problem doing that. And then her relationship with her, what's the man's name? That's always like 4 steps behind her.
Oh.
And in her business all the time.
Yes.
I don't remember his name.
Oh, no.
But I can only assume that he's a dutiful Hufflepuff who knows everything. And she knows he knows everything. But by like nature of their
She's talking to Violet about how he's like the biggest gossip in England and how. Yeah.
What do you have to say about the Slytherinness of her wig choices?
I just think she's super bored. I think she's really bored, man.
Okay.
I think she's bored and she wants people to talk about her, to like have something to talk about. I feel like that's one of her things. Like, the people need something to discuss. So if there's literally nothing else that day, there is my hair.
She's right, though. She gives them incredible discussions about that hair. There's like mechanical things whirring and moving around the fucking hair sometimes.
The B plot for the Queen Charlotte season that's happening in current time is also extremely Slytherin, with like, yes, Lady Whistledown is like teasing her about the fact that none of her children have had a child yet. But truly, because you can see how emotional she is when it finally happens. Like, yes, Lady Whistledown is annoying her, but in all seriousness, it's about their family continuing. Like, she wants George to continue.
Yeah.
That's the huge thing for her. Because she goes to tell him immediately. She's like, there's going to be a grandchild, you're going to have a grandson or granddaughter, and our family line will continue. Which was like super rare back then too. The woman didn't have anything to do with the family line other than the fact that they were the reason for it continuing, but really it was the man's family. But she talks about it like it's their legacy continuing.
Slytherin mothers are interesting because there's like two wildly different types. Because you have like the weirdly nurturing ones like Bella, who are weird about their kids and like will die for them, but like in a weird way. Like it's bizarre.
In a way that's unnecessary.
Love. Yeah, it's almost unnecessary.
Over dramatic.
and it becomes it's like because it's mine thing. Versus like the Emily Gilmore. Or I would say like the Queen Charlotte, who falls into that kind of category where it's like the overbearing, judgmental sorrows, prayers, stop crying and deal with it type of like attitude that can be difficult, especially if you have a kid who's an emotion house.
Her frustration though. She was like, why is it so hard? There's 13 of you, have a fucking child. Like, what is the problem here?
Well, didn't her son lose a child, or the wife lost a baby?
The wife died in childbirth and the baby died as well. So, and she's really like, but you have to get over that because there needs to be a baby.
Right. So that kind of thing. It's like she's that kind of Slytherin mom where she's like, you have to do what you have to do. Like, we all
do what we have to do. Yeah.
I've done plenty. Okay. You can do it. You'll be fine. But it's funny because it's almost like you look at a Bella and you look at a Charlotte or an Emily Gilmore, and most people would be like, those types of moms are so mean. Like, I would want a Bella Swan mom. Y'all need to like reevaluate, because the Bella Swan mom is scary. Swan mom. And she's going to turn into her own fucking mother who doesn't know how to be anything but a friend to her kid. Okay. It's going to be a whole big mess because she's going to be so conflated with her own identity with her child. And it doesn't help that the kid's growing at a rapid rate. Okay, I can't turn this into a Twilight discussion.
She's never getting older again.
It's bad.
She's 17 forever.
If you have to have a Slytherin mother, you want the overbearing one. Like, you want the kind of mean one. Because underneath the kind of mean is like it's a genuine like, I want this for you because I want the best for you. So I want you to reach your potential. So just get there. Like, enough of this. Just get there. So she's like very stereotypical Slytherin mom. Like, she fits right in with them.
Crazy that you brought up Twilight. Janine literally just not DM'd. She posted on Twitter, but she said the only thing I don't like about Midnight Sun is how like selfless Edward keeps saying Bella is. And I was like, Janine, Edward's clinically insane.
She's got him clocked. Bella had him clocked. Okay,
he is clinically insane. Like, there's no.
Yeah, no, he is. He really believes she is.
He thought she hung the moon. And
Remember when he's like, I know you love Jacob. And she's like, I did. And then she cries in his arms the entire night because she had to break up with Jacob. And Edward the whole time is like, God, I hate myself for making her love me. Clinically fucking insane. Yeah.
I also love when she threatened to suicide herself if he didn't turn her into a vampire.
That sounds fucking horrible.
And he's like, God, you're so selfless. You're the best
One day we're gonna have to do like remasters of episodes, and we're gonna have to redo Twilight. Like, we're gonna have to go back
when the Midnight Sun show comes out, let's just talk about it again. Like, who cares?
Yeah, I think we'll have to. From a whole new, fresh perspective. It's like I can't stop talking about it because Bella's awful and Edward's insane. So, yeah, you don't want a Bella Swan mom. You want a Queen Charlotte mom, and they'll get you places. Okay, like, those kids are successful. Like, they're good. They're gonna get you places. So just sometimes you have to put up with some meanness. Okay, but
I talked about this in the Gilmore Girls episode when everybody relates to Lorelai and wants to be like, Lorelai's parents were so mean, and I got where Emily was coming through a lot of the time because I was like, Lorelai, just fucking stop and do like
It depends.
there's no
It depends
reason
on
to
the
be
episode. It depends on the argument.
it does depend on but there were some instances where Emily just wanted something like that would be so easy for Lorelai to do, and it was like on the principle or just because she loved like disobeying her mom that Lorelai would like refuse, and then she would be like, why doesn't my mom respect me or my relation? We're like,
Yeah, but like Emily put up with a lot of shit. Like Emily went through a lot. Like, okay, your husband is going and having lunch with his ex once a year, and you found out about it, and you still stayed with his ex. That's crazy. But that's that weird Slytherin dutiful bullshit that drives me fucking nuts about your house, because
it's not even
can
dutiful.
see her
it's like I
with him.
refuse to give up. Like I'm not fucking
wild.
I will not fail this.
That's crazy town.
I don't know. I feel like Charlotte did a little bit of that.
I think she did it too. Thank you.
Yeah.
And
she's like, I will not fail this.
Oh my God. I think Charlotte's better than Emily Gilmore's husband. George is better than Emily Gilmore's husband.
Oh
okay?
God, yes.
So I understand it more for her. I think he's worth standing by far more. And he is a genuinely good man, George. Like he really actually is very, very good to his core.
Which is so funny to talk about. I love when we talk about this is the George that we separated from in America. The one who was being a total dick to Americans. Like it's the same George. Somebody tweeted like when the show came out, they were like, when you realize like the King George from Bridgerton and the King George from Hamilton are the same person.
Historical fanfic is fun. Okay, you can do whatever you want with them.
Yep.
Shonda's really good at it, so I just go by what she said, and none of the actual bad things that happen in real life happen. Because George is a nice boy in Bridgerton. Well, what do you want me to believe? What am I supposed to do with the story she gave me? What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to look at real textbooks? Or am I supposed to listen to Shondaland? I can tell you which one's more entertaining, and therefore which one I'll be following. So there's also Charlotte's friendship with Lady Danbury. Now, from Lady Danbury's perspective, I have something to say about her house on this topic. But from Charlotte's perspective,
I was gonna say, what's crazy to me? Because I just rewatched this. So I remembered how Lady Danbury was manipulating things so that she got what she needed to get. Frankly, what she was owed, but like she had to do it this way. But she betrayed Charlotte's trust a little to do it. And I watched it in a show. I didn't remember this, that Charlotte never like learns. And I think what the show is telling us is that even if she had learned, she wouldn't have fucking cared.
Yeah,
which is why they never made it a thing. Like
no, I agree.
Yeah.
But I will say that they have this level of weird respect that they like these I don't know, these social niceties that they respect. Like she will never call her Charlotte, and they will barely acknowledge that this is an actual friendship. They act like every get together is a meeting to talk about something substantial.
They do once. She does say that Lady Danbury is her only friend.
Yeah, I think that's in a moment of like rare vulnerability, I'm pretty sure. But like otherwise in their little bubble, even when they're just privately in a room like playing cards.
Yeah.
Watch your tone, Lady Danbury. Like it's not like there's this weird hierarchy there that's very much respected.
I mean, it's not weird. It is the hierarchy.
I know, but I think if you had a Gryffindor queen, it would be different. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
so she's very much like, you will still call me queen and you will still bow and we will still do like the whole thing every single time I see you. Yes, yes, yes.
The rigmarole.
It's just like, damn. And so, like I think Lady Danbury's house explains why she has no problem with that. But it's interesting seeing it from the Slytherin side where like, yeah, you have to socially.
Like nobody should have a problem with it in that time period because it was really normal. Like it would have been weird. Like for Charlotte and George, like she was calling him Her Majesty, and he was like, "I'm just George." And then, oh my God, I loved that she used that as a weapon when he was like, I can't remember what the first fight was about, but he was like, I will not hang out. I will not stay with you. I will not live with you. And she was like, okay, Your Majesty. And then she passive aggressively was like, I don't know a George. George doesn't want to hang out with me. Like,
yeah, but so that leans into the point of what I'm saying. Like you can drop the formality if you want to with someone who's close to you. And she's the kind of person who doesn't like to drop the formality. Doesn't like it. She likes the Your Majesty. She likes being called queen. She likes the respect of it. And I found that to be very Slytherin. I like it. It's cool. It's like,
yeah.
All right, get your respect. Cool, good for you. Even with your closest friend, you're like,
well, I mean, you can see that she also takes on, like, they call it the great experiment, that they're allowing, frankly, black people and other people of different ethnicities to be lords and ladies.
mm,
Like, they do that because Charlotte comes in as a black queen, and they're like, they can't, well, we can't do, like, she has to have, so it's so
mm,
gross. They're like, there have to be other people who look like her. Like, we can't just have a court of white people. So they
uh-huh.
immediately elevate those people. And then you can see, because a Gryffindor, if Charlotte were a Gryffindor, I feel like she would agonize a lot more over the fact that she was like ushering in this new era, and that if she looked bad, all of these people look bad, and she has to do really well for them.
That's
And you
true.
can see George's mom trying to leverage that with her,
Mm,
and you can see Charlotte being like, no, this is great, and I want all these people to have all of these things, but also, like, that's not on me. Like, if I fuck
mm,
up, like, they're still
yeah,
fine. Like,
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
nothing to do with them. So,
Right.
because you can see, her name's Agatha, but Lady Danbury freaking out over it, and the fact that, like, they may lose, like, there may not be, her husband dies, and then there was no rules of succession, like, written into their being elevated to lords and ladies,
Hmm.
so she had to fight to ensure that her son was the new Lord Danbury.
Yeah.
And you see her come to Charlotte with that and be like, this is a problem, like, you have to help your people, like, we need to be able to have these set in stone and blah blah blah. And Charlotte's like, kind of like, this all sucks, but also, like, not really my my
I'm
problem,
not supposed to worry about
because
that. I'm the
yeah,
talent.
yeah. Lady Danbury's like, oh, if you let me host the first ball of the season, that would be a huge help. And she's like, okay, so ask the Queen Dowager. And she's like, she's not gonna let me. And Charlotte's like, why is this my problem?
Yeah.
Just figure it out. Like, just do it.
She
I know you can do it.
she
I
reminds
think
me
she
a
would have
little.
stepped in if they were in serious problem, but she was like,
Probably.
you guys got it. You guys
I
got
do,
it.
and she does sometimes. Like, I can't even think of specific examples, but she does. Like, she'll show up. Like, she will. If it's dire, she will. She'll fix it for you. Um, she gives me a little bit Blair Waldorf with, like, how she handles things. Like, very much like that. Like, I can figure it out. So why can't you figure it out?
Right.
Okay, you
Yeah,
can't
like
figure
that.
it out.
And
Fine.
also, she very much is. I hate calling it like selfishness, even though it is, but like a lot of Slytherins do this. They're like, my problems, like, it's nothing against you. They have more priority. I'm a little more concerned with myself. So she's like, my husband's not paying attention to me, and I'm 6 months pregnant. Like, figure out your little party thing. Like,
Right.
I can't think of the further implications of all of this right now.
Yeah. Well, I would say probably the negative Slytherin traits come out in her when she is bored. And this is where it starts to become a little bit of a problem, I guess, where she shows she doesn't care about you. When, like, it's young girls with a ton coming forward, just looking for her diamond. Like, she'll yawn in your face, or she'll roll her eyes, or she'll make you feel like fucking scum. And she'll be like, well, yeah, I'm the queen. I do that. So, and I don't think I don't think Daphne would. So it's interesting. It's like different. They're different types of Slytherins. Like, they'll do things the same way. They'll do what they have to do, but she's not with the niceties. She's not, because she's like, I'm not babying you. Like, fucking figure it out. She reminds me a lot of Blair. That connection just popped into my head, and now I see it. I'm like, yeah, you're very Blair Waldorfy. It's like Blair in power in a Regency era. Who's Dorinda? Oh, it's the guy that stands behind her. That's her Dorinda.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. You're right. Who should have been Gossip Girl?
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Oh, that's funny. Oh, because this is like Gossip Girl. Oh my God.
Yes.
I'm making so many connections. I don't even know
Gossip
what they
Girl
are.
was
Crazy.
just a modern day ton.
Look at me go. I didn't even know. My mouth didn't even catch up to my brain. Incredible. Incredible work, Rachel. She doesn't have a Serena, though. Thank God.
No, she doesn't.
Thank God.
Her brother, maybe?
No.
Serena's hard to duplicate. She's very one of a kind.
I have to go. So Charlotte, I don't know if I have anything more to say about Charlotte. I'm trying to think of this.
Remember once Serena dated the professor that she got fired for kissing her when she was underage?
Yeah. Remember when she was going to get married? She like ran off after dating that guy.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Like, yeah, I get her though. Like, who cares? I'm so rich, I could just divorce you tomorrow. Who cares? It's not my fault I'm the literal sun and people just need me to shine their light on them because I'm so beautiful. She's such a I love her. Sometimes I love the real messy ones like that because it's just like she doesn't pretend to be anything but what she is.
No,
so
she's
good.
exactly what she is. Except when she's trying to be like, Blair, I'm not stealing attention from you. And Blair's like, I see right through you, you stupid bitch. I know exactly what you are.
Sometimes she's really not. Blair gets mad because there were times where she was.
The stuff with her mom, where Serena's like, I don't get why you're so mad that your mom loves me more.
Yeah, well, context clues, Serena. Come on. I know. Well, we were talking about Sex and the City in the last episode. Carrie has some Serena. There's some.
Oh, God, yeah.
There's some overlap there. These messy bitches are funny, but like, I don't know if you really want to be their friend. So. But Charlotte, thankfully, doesn't have a terrible Gryffindor around. So she's able to just like reign Slytherin. Which leads me into Lady Danbury. So this is her best friend. Do you have a problem with going right into Lady Danbury? I really want to talk about her.
Yeah.
I really like her. So I love, me and George call her Big Pimpin because of her cane. And every time she comes and screams like, yeah, Big Pimpin, she's here. She's going to fuck your shit up. She's so great. So she is like Rumpelstiltskin without the magic. Okay. Like you're going to go where she puts you. And you're not even going to know that she's doing it to you. You're going to just fucking go where she says you're going to go. She just sprinkles it in. She raises her eyebrow at you. And then you're like, oh, okay, you're right. I will marry that person. Thank you so much. And then she goes back to the queen and she's like, it's so interesting how that person just did that thing. And I don't know who gave them a nudge in that direction, but somehow they did it. And then Charlotte will wink at her and Danbury will wink at her. And they just know that they're controlling all these fucking people. Do whatever they want. They're hilarious. They are such a funny fucking duo. I love them. So we have Lady Danbury and Ravenclaw, which is incredible because it's Slytherin Ravenclaw best friends duo, which I can't off the top of my head remember another one right now. And I love it.
Natasha and Clint.
But they're not gossipy bitches like this. They're totally different.
I feel like they were. We just only saw them in high stress situations.
Yeah, it would be nice to have seen her. I can't picture Clint being gossipy bitch except
I can
with her.
I can
and quietly with his eyes. She can read it.
It wouldn't be quiet. I think he's a different Ravenclaw than Danbury is, but
aren't they all fucking different from each? But so what I was trying to say before with their friendship and the formalities, like, of course, Lady Danbury is totally fine with being like, yes, queen, and bowing to her and always being afraid that she's going to be mad at her and like really looking at her like the queen, because Ravenclaws have this thing about figures of authority and the hierarchy and chain of command. And Lady Danbury has no problem. If Charlotte was like, call me Charlotte, honey, Lady Danbury would like lose all respect for her and not want to talk to her anymore. She'd like move to another country and be like, I need a new queen friend.
I always think it's so funny. We don't know. I don't think we know her name is Agatha until the Queen Charlotte season. I don't think they ever. Maybe they do.
Probably not.
When the Duke is introduced. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But you do. She is Lady Danbury. Like you don't call her Agatha.
No, she's Big Pimpin.
Yeah,
that's how you must address her. So, like with Queen Charlotte, you have everything in Bridgerton before this show to help you make your decision on what house you put her in, but. For me, it's how she's in everything, but also just off center. Like, if you're paying attention, she's behind everyone in like every scene, watching and moving, and you're all little pieces on her chessboard, and she's moving you all around. And ultimately, it's to satisfy Queen Charlotte, but it's also to satisfy her. She is so happy doing it, and she's so happy like going home and having her cigar and her brandy or whatever. Like, she's just so content with that.
Bro, she's so mad when her brother shows up. She's like, get the fuck out of here.
And the type of family, ugh, God.
She's like, what, I have to babysit you and introduce you to people that I like? Get out of here.
But how Ravenclaw have heard to have held that grudge, like that childhood grudge.
Right? And then her brother's like, you got it totally wrong. Like,
he's like, I was 5. And she's like, you were the devil.
You were the man of the house. You should have stood up for me. He's like, I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
He's like, I was worried you were going to like die in the night. And she's like, then you should have let me die, you little fuck. Like, you rat. You fucking rat. Yeah, the grudge holding is wild. But you also see flashes like when she gets so mad at Kate. So mad at Kate because Kate didn't give her the full story. And so
Yeah.
now you've made me look a fool. And I will
She's
not
like,
play
I
the
invited
fool.
you to my house. I am sponsoring you. I vouched for you. How dare you?
Mm.
She does that. She's so with her husband, her first husband, who she's so funny as a Ravenclaw too, because you're introduced to her as this young girl. I could not have told you that that lady had children. Like until you actually showed the children, she never
Yup.
talks about them. She has that conversation with her son when her husband is dead and like he is the new Lord Danbury or whatever.
Mhm.
She's like, I know you don't know me that well and that you want to go back to Nanny and you love Nanny the most. And she it's just so like this is the way like Violet's an anomaly, right? Like you
Probably,
she's a
yeah.
more modern mom. That's not how moms were back then. So Lady Danbury is actually more of the typical what you would see back then. But the fact that it doesn't bother her just like stood
Yeah.
out to me. She was just like I literally don't care that I don't know my child and that my child does not love me or know me at all.
Yeah.
Like we're doing what we need to do. But I also thought it was extremely Ravenclaw of her how she and her maid had worked out a system for knowing when
Mm.
her husband was going to come sleep with her
Yeah.
so that she gets so upset when she has no warning, and it's not because of the act itself because she sees that
Right.
as something that she has to do.
Yeah.
It's the fact that she couldn't prepare her brain for it. Like that's the only thing that's really upsetting to her, which is
Yeah.
just so
A lot of the time, like when me and George are watching shows and there's an obvious Ravenclaw and something happens where they're like given a task, we're like, up, there it is. They were given their job. Watch. They're just gonna immediately go fucking do it and like not ask any questions. They're just gonna go forth and do it. But that is so often the case with certain, like in certain shows where if I have the task, like I'm the Ravenclaw, I have a task. And you didn't give me everything that I needed to successfully complete the task, like their brain breaks a little bit. Like you didn't give me the tools that I needed to do it. Like I'll do it. I don't care. Yeah, you told me what to do. I'll go fucking do it. Fine. You didn't. It's like with Kate. You didn't tell me everything, and she's like, and it's not like I wouldn't have supported you or I wouldn't have helped you do it or like get your money, girl. Like I would have helped, but you didn't tell me, and so now I'm gonna make you feel like shit. I'm gonna make you feel so bad. But yeah, that's very, very true. Like a lot of people, the act of it in itself is enough to just totally make you crumble. And she's like, no, I understand what I have to do, but I need I need the more, like, I need to at least know. I need the facts going in. So, and those scenes are just terrible. Oh my God.
yeah.
Oh God. And she's so beautiful. I hate it. God, I hate it.
Didn't they make her go have an affair with another old man? Like,
So what's up with
let
that?
this lady.
What was
Yeah,
the point?
I think it was for the drama between her and Violet, honestly.
It's that, and I also think that on Bridgerton, she doesn't have some, like, she didn't have anything else going on. Like, she had the one husband, he died, and she's big pimpin', right? So they didn't have like this big love story of the past to work with like a hot young guy,
right.
because that's really didn't seem to be her
They
style.
slipped it in a little bit with Charlotte's brother. Like she had the really
Mhm.
short courtship with him,
Oh,
where
yeah.
he was like, "Come back to I think it was Hamburg. Come back to Hamburg with me."
Right.
And she was like, "What will we do there?" And
Mm.
he was like, "Well, you'll run my house, like blah blah blah, do all this wifely stuff." And she was like, or
She's
I
like,
could stay here, independently wealthy and making my own decisions. So,
yeah, she's very much like, Mom, I am the rich man. Like, I got this. I'm the man of the house.
well, her problem was that they were running out of money because her husband overspent when they
Mhm.
became like part of the ton because he was trying to impress everybody. So she was like, "Oh shit, I gotta find another husband and like get money real quick." And then I think she felt like it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Just get the money some other way.
Yep. But I do think it's very telling of her house how she hates to be caught off guard and how she hates to lose control of the situation. So even back in that season with Anthony, where Kate's grandparents are making a scene and making a huge fucking mess, she tries so hard to put that back on the rails and to get that under control before it spirals. And that's kind of her thing. Like, I'm in control of the situation. I've got a handle on this.
Well, she I don't know if you remember this in Queen Charlotte. So she has this thing with the Queen Dowager where she's trying to get her to like spy on Charlotte and George and like, are they having a baby? Have they had sex yet? That sort of stuff. And Lady Danbury
yeah.
is she's leveraging it for more security in their position in
Hmm.
society, which is smart
Yep.
because she should have done that. And like I said, they never revealed this to Charlotte, and I think it's because Charlotte would have been like, "Good for you,
Yeah,
like do
I
what you
do
got to
too.
do, girl." Yeah, but there is one scene where it's like at the end of the season where she's doing one of her little powwows with the queen, and she breaks down crying because it's just too much. And the queen's like, fucking stop that right
Yep.
now. She's like, I'm doing this with you because you're a good adversary and I enjoy this back and forth. And she's like, you will pick your chin up and stop fucking crying and you will blackmail me. Like, cut
And
it out.
Agatha never cried again in her life.
No, she did. She picked herself up right away and she said, I think you'll give me $1 million or something like that. And the queen was like, good for you.
I just want everyone to know what the world would be like if led by Logic House women. That's what it would be like. It would be all our little drama for them for their entertainment, and we'd be totally like little puppets on fucking strings, just dancing and doing whatever they want. And there'd be like world peace, like it would all be solved. But that would be the back end of it. Like the drama would be everything forward. It would be so fun. Give the world to Logic House women, not the men.
No.
Keep them away from it. No, and the Emotion House men too, because they're stupid.
Keep it away from men.
Keep the world away from men. Oh my god. Yeah, I really hate the old man shit that they had with her though. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Violet's dad was very nice. And obviously
Okay,
his
yeah,
wife was like
I
a
know.
raging racist, snooty,
Mhm.
like he clearly needed some good tail. But like, I don't
Maybe they put it in because Violet's gonna date her brother. So
I think that's part. I mean, in this, I don't know if you caught it in Colin and Penelope's season. Violet basically told her, like,
mhm.
I don't like when past things are in the past. Like, we can forgive you. Like, it's fine that you
Yeah.
dated my dad if I'm interested in your brother. But I really do think it was for like this development of a friendship between Lady Danbury and Violet because
Mhm.
in season 1 with Daphne and the Duke, they were more like collaborators because they were both related
Mhm.
to the people, so they were trying to get them together. Um, I think they needed a way to tie in Lady Danbury more to the Bridgerton family moving forward. Like, why does she
Right.
care so much about all these kids?
Yeah.
Especially since in the books she's actually really close with Penelope, and they didn't do that at all.
I have liked
So
that.
yeah, they didn't do that at all. So I think they were just doing their best to tie her closer to being Violet's friend, which makes the most sense because they're in the same,
Yeah.
somewhat in the same age
I do
bracket.
think I
But
know Violet's house. And it just
yeah,
explains their very interesting friendship. It's very interesting houses.
it's so weird. Violet never accuses her of fucking her dad. She's just
Mhm.
like, nice party hats.
Yep.
Yeah,
She's like, I know what you did. I'm not going to look too closely
Yeah,
at it.
yeah,
And
yeah,
we're
yeah.
friends now.
Yeah,
So,
she does when she's in the church on the day of her, I don't remember if it's her wedding anniversary or the anniversary of her husband's death. And Lady Danbury goes off a little and she's like, you're lucky to be mourning anybody at all. Some of us just
mm,
like never had a love and are never got that experience. And Violet's like, what the fuck are you saying to me? My husband's dead. She's like,
yeah.
excuse me. But it's very
Yep.
Ravenclaw. We're not going to sort Violet, but it's very Ravenclaw on Lady Danbury's side that she's like, better to have loved and lost her, especially when she hasn't been in a marriage where she enjoyed her partner. Whereas Violet
Right.
had this great, big, sweeping, like once in a lifetime romance with her husband. And
Hmm.
she's like, you don't know a goddamn thing about.
She's right. She's right. I
Uh-huh.
mean, hey. But yeah, their friendship's it's just interesting. It's all very, because Violet's doing her own little chess moves, I guess, just for her family.
Yeah. It's literally only for her family.
It's not for anything else.
Yeah.
But Danbury's like very happy to play that game because she's interested in them. So, but more importantly,
She's interested
pleases
in
the
them. I think
queen.
she likes them. Like,
Yeah, I
it
think so
just
too.
comes down to that too. Like, if she didn't like them, she wouldn't fucking care.
I also love when Queen Charlotte, like at the wedding, at Penelope and Colin's wedding, walks in and she's like, everyone out except the Bridgertons, and Lady Danbury stays. She's
Yep.
like, no.
She's like, I'm here for the gossip.
And Charlotte's like, yeah, whatever. Obviously, you stay.
Meanwhile, Penelope's like, getting the fuck out of here.
I know. She's like, oh, never mind. I don't want to be one of you anymore. Oh man, yeah. And I think there's no Danbury Penelope overlap, but you can see the respect that she has for Penelope. Like when that's revealed, she's very much like, yeah, do it. And I think you're going to do even better going forward. Like, I think you needed to be exposed because I really don't think it was helping you to carry all that weight. And like, she's just very intuitive and very, she gets people. If she didn't get people, she wouldn't be able to move you where she wants to move you. She understands them. She understands their motivations, what they need and like. And she's also able to see what matches work better than Charlotte is, because Charlotte is very much in it for her entertainment more than anything else. And she takes it as a personal slight if you don't want the match that she made for you. Where Danbury's like, that's dumb. Look, those two don't like each other. I will make this other match look titillating for you somehow. Fine. Because I know that your brain needs to be pleased in a specific way. And like, she'll do it for her. She'll make it work for her. I like how she does a lot of the behind the scenes work. And she just stands next to Charlotte and is like, you like it? You like it? They're like that TikTok
you like
audio.
The picture I painted?
And shouts, pat yourself on the back, girl. They're very, very much that. They're a great friendship duo. It's something I look forward to when Bridgerton comes back. I know everyone's like, the couple, like, I want to see the couple. I love Charlotte and Danbury. Like, I want all scenes with them. I love it.
Yeah.
And I want her to have a new love interest, but I don't know if I'll ever give it to her. I think she's fine without it. I do. I don't think she cares.
I think she is too.
But it would be cute. It would be cute. I'd be happy for her. Because I hate the ones they gave her. So I kind of just want my palate cleansed, I guess. Mm-hmm. But if it's not what she wants, then fine. Just have your money and your cigar and your mansion and be happy.
That's in your campaign.
Also, her whole thing with Simon.
Saber inside it. Yeah. Oh, when she does. She shows up at her. It's her sister it's her sister. So it's her brother-in-law. And she shows up and is like, you're a fucking dick, and like takes that kid.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
And she's like, so what? He has a stutter. Like, so what is wrong with you? You're a fucking jackass. And she gives Simon all the confidence in the world.
Actually related. She might have just been really close friends with Simon.
I think she might have been best friends. I think they might have been best friends. But I'd have to rewatch to confirm.
Simon calls her his aunt, so.
Right. Well, she takes him in no problem and teaches him how to be what is he again? Baron?
He's a duke.
Duke. Thank you. She teaches him how to be a duke.
And he's the most prestigious thing he could be if he weren't a prince.
What am I thinking? Bassett. That's the B word I'm thinking.
He's
Baron.
Simon. Yep.
And she teaches him the ways of the time and the ways like how to behave as a gentleman and everything. She gives him all the tools that he needs. And you mix like all of that and then abuse from your father, and so you get a Gryffindor. And so I understand how the Ravenclaw helped raise a Gryffindor man. She knew exactly how to handle him. She constantly shamed the shit out of him because that's the way into a Gryffindor's head, right?
She's like, what? Oh, you don't
guilt.
like feelings? Feel your feelings.
She's like, I threw all this, I did all this for you, and this is what you're gonna do. Like, the guilt is fucking crazy. It's so funny. It works on him every time. He's like, I'm not, and I don't want to be here. Leave me alone. And she's like, ugh, disgusting. That's terrible manners. Terrible manners. I raised you better. And he's like, fuck, one more night. God damn it. One more night. Like, it works every single time. It's really fun. I love their relationship. It's one I really had hoped to see more of, but the casting didn't allow for it, sadly. Wah.
Not the casting.
But it's a great
person.
Yeah. But he's got a life and his reasons, so I don't know. But I would have liked to have seen more of it.
I don't know. I haven't seen anything since the Chris Pine movie, so.
We don't know.
Oh, we don't know. We're not here to talk about.
No.
Regine. I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's
beautiful.
Very French. He's gorgeous.
And so she, it's funny how she's like super maternal without being maternal. Like, because she wasn't like that for her own kids, but nope. She is for the ones who she's entertained by. Oh, man. Ravenclaws are funny, guys.
I think it's interesting we haven't seen her kids either, like as adults.
Not important, I guess.
Doesn't fucking matter.
They're not interested in being part of the Queen's game, so she's like, then just go be in your estate and stay over there, and I don't care. I have the Bridgertons to entertain me. Violet popped enough of these motherfuckers out to give me, like, every couple of years I have a new drama. Like, I don't care. I'm good. So, and then there's just poor George, man. Like,
George.
The abuse this man suffers. Like,
willingly.
I watched this with such sadness, and I was telling Lauren earlier, I was really focused on the women. Like, I don't know. I like hyper focused on Charlotte and Danbury, that I knew George was there, obviously, and I liked him and he was sweet. But a lot of it, I was driven by pity, which I think is purposeful. Like, I felt so fucking bad for this guy, but I wasn't really thinking too deeply about his house, because I was just like, fuck, this is not fair. This is not fair. And then I would think about his wife, like her friend, like in a deep analytical way. So the only thing that the conclusion that I came to was, I didn't think that he was very emotional in the way that you're stereotypically emotional. So he clearly loves her, but the way he can cut her off because it's not always when he's spiraling in a mental health crisis. It's not. I'm fairly certain sometimes he's fine and he's just like, I'm going to stay in my house, or I'm going to stay in this room. Like, I don't think it's every single time it's a mental health thing. I think he deliberately also
most of the time it's
wants
not.
space.
He's holding himself away from her because he's afraid of hurting her or affecting her with his illness.
It's very Beauty and the Beast. Sometimes like, stay in your wing over there. I'll hurt you.
It's like, I'll live in Q, a whole other house.
And I just thought that if he were like, say, if he were like a Gryffindor man, I think it would have been harder for him to stay away from her. Like, I don't know. I just felt like he would have you can't fight your mental illness. So that's not the right word.
No, he, I don't know if so obviously we don't know what exact, because it was 300 years ago, but historians are pretty sure he was bipolar with some other things, but that was the main. So his episodes were like manic episodes.
Right.
And then he would obviously swing the other way, go depressive episodes. But when you see him like fall into, that was manic.
Right. So it's difficult. And I think that's part of why I had such difficulty, even just when I was talking to you earlier, being like, what fucking house is he? Because so much of it is he's being tortured. He's hiding. He's scared to hurt her. And then there's moments of like clarity that come through where you can kind of assess his motivations. But many of them are like, he wants to be a good king. He doesn't want to hurt his people. He doesn't want to hurt her. He wants to do the right thing. And he thinks the right thing is keeping himself locked away and going through the treatments. He's told that he needs these treatments. He's given that task and he's going to do it. And it's horrible. He just fucking does it. He doesn't fight that at all. He's like, no, okay, this is on the agenda for today. Getting fucking waterboarded. All right.
You see it a little bit, like in the moments when he's not having episodes, like he's like the science and agriculture king. So he's like just sitting up here, like making decrees, isn't doing anything for my people as a king. Like I should learn how to grow them more crops. And he's like out there doing it. Like there's this whole thing where Charlotte's certain he's doing something weird out in the garden because he comes in and she's like, what were you doing? He's like, gardening. She's like, that's bullshit. And I remember Lady Danbury's over visiting her and Charlotte's just looking out the window and Charlotte's like, he actually is gardening. And Lady Danbury's like, are you listening to me at all? And Charlotte's like, no, this motherfucker's doing something weird. And George is really just out there gardening. He's like, no, I'm going to figure this out for my people. You see it in his mom, like lays out this list. She's like, you have to marry, you have to have a baby. And you see when George is getting frustrated with her, like there's this whole like fight that he has with her that Charlotte overhears and she gets really upset about it. It's after their first night having sex, I think. But he's like, you told me I must marry her and I did it. You told me that I must conceive a child with her and I've consummated the marriage. What else am I supposed to do? I want to go back to my telescope and like I'm doing everything that you're telling me I should do. I don't know what I'm supposed to do further.
And so crying the emotion out of him is why I didn't put him in a typical emotion house. Because like I'm saying, if he was an emotion house, there wouldn't have been that conversation where she's like, do you love me? Like it would have been, he would have already told her that in episode 1. I burn for you. Yeah, I love you. What do you fucking mean? I'll follow you to India.
Simon's weird, like not saying I love you, but this is definitely an I love you.
Break
it too, so.
Oh God, I could trigger me over Simon.
Colin's just like, I do love you. Let's get married now.
But yes, so it's not pulling teeth. For Simon, it might be pulling teeth to get him to tell you about his like blood debt with his father, that like he needs to spite him even in his death.
Never have a child. Or never pass on the family name.
But not about his feelings for Daphne. Like, if they have feelings for you, they're there, you know? But this dude, man, it's like you're saying, she's having this fight with his mother, but he's like, I did it. I fucking did it. What? I need to get back to the planets and the crops, my night gardening. And so much of it gets attributed to like this madness, but it's like, it's not. Like in his moments of lucidity, that's what he wants to be doing. He wants to be learning and increasing his knowledge.
He wants to be active in helping his people, not just like sitting on a throne, like watching over them. Like his mom is like, it's fine if you're just a king. And he's like, no, I must be a productive king. I gotta do shit. You see a little bit, we haven't said yet. I think he's a Ravenclaw. I don't know if Rachel agrees with me or if she's like talking
He
herself
has to
through
be.
it.
Through process of elimination, he has to be, because what Slytherin attributes does he have?
Not there, like you it's focused so much on his condition and how it affects him and Charlotte that you're right, you don't see a ton of his personality other than what we've already pulled out. But I think another big like little silly funny thing that they gave us is when I don't remember his manservant's name, but it's the one who's in their relationship with Charlotte's manservant.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of collude a little bit. So he's like, I really don't understand why Charlotte's so upset. Like I gave her a house, and she's there and she can do whatever she wants. And the guy's like, the guy's like, I think she's lonely. And so he like carefully and like gently walks George through this whole like she's lonely thing. And George's conclusion is like, I must give her a living thing. She can be, but no, so that's all very Ravenclaw. But the thing, he steals the Pomeranian from the doctor. Like it's a fun little silly moment, right? Like he's a king, he could buy a fucking Pomeranian, and he like wanted to do his little fun, like little act of rebellion, even though he asked for the doctor to do this stuff to him. It was his little retaliation for like fucking dick torturing me. Like he steals the dog.
The exasperation of women in every house that are with Ravenclaw men, because they do shit like that, and like. We were just talking about this with Carrie and Big. He leaves the day of their wedding and comes around on that limo and is like, I'm here. Okay, I had a crisis. What are you mad about?
And now it's okay. I just needed to see you.
Relax, let's get married. Duh, I love you. And she's fucking having a mental breakdown. And he doesn't get it.
Humiliated me.
And he's like, why? What are you talking about?
What do you mean? It's like nobody knew I wasn't there. Like, let's just go.
It's a little dramatic. Can we talk about it?
It's like literally nobody knows.
At this point, like my Ravenclaw husband knows not to say the words to me. It's a little dramatic because it over like 13 years. Because like I'm trying to explain to him why what you just did was so bizarre. Like you need to understand why you got that reaction from me, and I'll explain it. He's just like, I don't get it. It's kind of, I don't want to say dramatic. I'm not saying dramatic. I'm not. But I feel like you can navigate it another way. Like, no, no, you did a fucking weird thing. So it's like, my wife's lonely. I'll get her a puppy. What do you?
He literally says it like that too. Like, I must give her a living thing to focus her attentions on.
I almost want to compare it to what's his name from Peter from the Crate. Like,
I miss Peter. We should watch the episodes up to right before he fucking dies. Like, I just want to see the new content, Rachel.
I saw a clip on TikTok of them the other day where he's just like, I like you, you're funny, I don't want to kill you, so I think you should take a lover. And she's like, that's a stupid idea. And he's like, haha, see, you're funny, I don't want to kill you. Fucking ridiculous. But it's like, he's just such an he's not like other kings. Like we've seen other rulers in other houses. He really wants to learn and he really wants to help, but he's just not good with the emotional aspect of things. So if we'd seen more of him like answering things from his people or whatever, you probably would have seen more of that, where he like struggled to understand feelings and like the emotions of the people. Like, well, I figured out this crop thing. Aren't you not happy? You got the crop thing, and like,
are you not entertained?
Yeah. So he just doesn't get her emotions, and you've got like a very fiery Slytherin, so she's not going to hold his hand and explain it to him. And sometimes they need hand holding, and she's like, I have no fucking time. I'm always pregnant, and horny and mad. So figure it out or don't.
Right.
They're a wild couple. But obviously very in love with each other and very like it works. Because of like the nature of his condition, he needs someone who's going to stand by him forever. Yeah. And he needs someone who's independent and self-sufficient enough to like make her own way in life and like not have this break her. Because it takes a person with an incredibly strong condition themselves to not have that totally make you crumble. That's your partner in life. That's fucking hard. And she still manages to like make all of her people like work. Everyone's okay. I don't recall any like food shortage problems or issues like that in her part of the kingdom. I don't know about the town where like the very poor people live. Is that part of her?
Are you talking about the area of London?
Yeah. Is that part of her thing? Girl, I don't know. This isn't my country's history. Okay. I don't know. It's not real, remember? I don't know. So then, she's not a good queen. Okay, what do you want me to?
There were peasants everywhere. They were
I'm trying to give her a compliment, and you're like, actually, bitch, her people are suffering.
You just asked me, is the poor part of London part of her kingdom?
You're like, yeah. And by the way, she doesn't care about them. I don't know what can be done about them. I don't know, or for them. I have no idea. But like the town's doing great. So I feel like she's doing a good job somewhere. I don't know. Why doesn't she help those people? Why do you simply not help the poor? That's weird. Charlotte, come to the front. Come to the front. We have questions for you. I'm just saying, I think she's a good leader in general. Yeah, I think she gets things done. She would have to be. Because I'm telling you right now, because the fucking monarchy isn't crumbling. They don't know that he has this condition. It's not all falling apart. And they have 16 kids? You'd think this information would get out. It doesn't.
The country does know.
Well, they know something, like he's sick, right? That's just what they say, like he's ill.
They know.
And there's rumors.
But they're like substantiated rumors. Like they all know. It's one of those like open secret things, you know? So.
I feel like you're trying to say that I'm giving her more credit than she deserves.
No, I think she gets even more credit. I think she gets even more credit for everybody knowing and like it's still being fine. She's holding it all together.
Yeah. Well, God help you if you talk about the thing too. So. You rule with a little fear. Like I said, I do think she'd behead you. No problem. I have no issue believing. I swear to God, I thought she was going to kill Eloise at one point. I thought Eloise was going to be fucking dead. You were telling me like, oh,
I don't know if you just different thought that because you really want it.
Hey. I love Eloise. You'll hear all about my opinions of Eloise one day. No, I really think she'll fucking kill you. What do you mean? I really think she will. I believed her. No, because what was it? When George hated Penelope, he hated her for a hot minute. He was like, hey, she did that. And blah, 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 blah. And I was like, her friend was going to die. He was like, she was not going to kill her. I was like, oh, she would have killed her. What do you mean? Beheading in town square. Swear to God, I really think she would have done it. No, y'all can let me know what you think. I think she would have killed her ass.
Yeah, I don't think she. Okay. It would have been very hard to have killed somebody else who was a part of the ton, like French Revolution levels of. I could imagine her maybe throwing her away in Bedlam or in jail, but not like beheading her in front of everybody.
I don't know. I think maybe I've just seen too many shows where they will just kill you. I don't know. Because the way she threatens the Bridgertons at the end there in Colin and Penelope's season, like, I'd be really fucking afraid. They seem really afraid. Like, what are you afraid of if not
getting
fucking murder you?
Title and your money stripped from you? Being usually what they did to the men, at least, is they would exile them from England. You'd have to go live on the continent and never return. So that could have happened.
So she's not murderous?
Not for lack of wanting to be murderous. I think just for like appearances sake, and that's not how things are done. No, I don't think she would have murdered a lady with a ton. Like a peasant, sure.
She'd murder someone. Fine. I think she would do beheadings, though. That's all I'm fucking saying. I don't think she has a problem with that. Fine. Fine, maybe she wouldn't kill Eloise. Fine, maybe I hate Eloise and I wanted to see Eloise's head come up. That was the exact argument I had with George. He's like, she's not going to kill her. I'm like, she's going to do it in front of everybody.
Oh my God, Rachel.
She's going to send Eloise's head back to the Bridgerton house on a plane. You can't go from Game of Thrones to this, guys. Don't do that. No. Don't do it. It'll fuck you up. Oh my God. Well, okay, fine. Shondaland's fucking monarchs are not murderous. Okay. I'll take that. It's a nice world where people live.
Yes.
Well, and we'll get back to what's to Violet in a future episode. Probably more towards when Bridgerton is like, when there's not a very packed season or when her love story is really flourishes and there's more to discuss about her. Because I'm very interested in seeing, are they going to combine Benedict and Eloise's stories, or does Eloise get her own entire season? I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do.
Oh God, I don't think they're combining them. You can't.
I don't know. I didn't read the books.
You know who Eloise is with.
Yeah, but they're changing things, so I don't know what
They said that they weren't going to change who they were with. They might change things about them like Michael is Michaela, but they weren't going to change who they ultimately are with.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
there was some talk about this, though, at the end of Colin and Penelope season. I remember where people were wondering if they were going to combine their seasons. I think because they both went off, like they both left.
No, Eloise,
so there was some discussion about it.
Eloise went to Scotland, and Benedict is still here.
Oh, is it that Eloise and Francesca's season might intermingle? I don't know. Fuck am I know? I don't know.
That might make more sense. Marina has to die first for Eloise to have her season, and I don't think they're going to cram. Eloise is a pretty heavy season, so a lot about depression, and she goes and like raises those kids. And
I hope I like her partner better than her. That's going to be a really bleak fucking episode.
You've met him.
I don't have enough on him right now.
That's true.
And he wasn't impressive beyond like nice guy. Do the right thing. Cool.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like a standout.
Do the right thing. Boo.
He was like fine. He was a good person. Okay. I don't have anything else beyond that. So what am I excited about? I don't like her. It's gonna be hard.
I know you don't.
Oh, talk big like you fucking love her.
No, I don't. I didn't fucking even imply a little bit that I liked her. I didn't think the queen was gonna murder her in front of everybody.
Lucky for them, I'm not the queen. Because she would have been taken out.
Jesus Christ.
She was being weird. You know, like I don't blame. No, Eloise.
No, Eloise. Yeah, I don't blame her for suspecting her. But
so,
all right.
I guess that's it.
Well, yeah. We'll see. What a great ending. We'll see you next time on Sort of Brilliant.
Will we?
Yeah, talking about Taylor Swift for the next 2 episodes.
Shocking.
Yeah.
All right. On brand.
Say y'all.
All right. Well, we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Sort of Brilliant. If our sorting choices inspired any rage or excitement, we'd love to hear from you. We're open to feedback, suggestions for characters to sort, and solid counter-arguments with citations.
Never forget your citations. You can find us hanging out on Twitter and Instagram at @SOB_pod or shoot us an email at sortofbrilliant@gmail.com.
And since we're not above begging, please rate and subscribe to Sort of Brilliant on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. Please share our posts on social media. And if you're a Gryffindor, maybe you'll inspire sorting fights among your own friend group.
The theme music is Hot Shot by Scott Holmes. Can't wait to sort with you again next time. Bye!